Hey everyone, hope you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel's Finding Value. Today we're going to do our daily technical analysis update of gold and silver. I'll give you my financial opinion and we'll dive right in here. So here's the dollar. I'm going to start with the dollar. We're up against resistance. I've got that white line. That's basically the top of this pattern here. And, if we break it, we run away. If we hit our head and fall back down, we could come back down. But right now, we are pressed up against that resistance line. And we're waiting to see what the buyers and sellers are going to do. But we're pinned right up against it. Looking at the 10-year yield, the 10-year yield continues on its tear higher. I think this is having or causing havoc on a lot of the stocks, not just commodities, just everything. The rate of change that this interest rate has gone up has been dramatic. And if we look at history, what we're looking at is this gigantic move higher coming off this bottom here. So in August of 2020, we were at 0.527 and we're already at 3, over 3.122. And if you look at history, I mean, this is a pretty steep increase. And, those are increases that are similar to something like the 1960s coming on up. We had some other very steep movements in the 1970s, where the 70s really went ballistic here. We also had a very steep movement from 65 to 1970. And this was a demographic that came through here and basically pushed rates higher through this entire time frame. And we're coming up into that same type of demographic, but I mean, man, this is rocketing higher, and we'll see what happens when we hit this 3.17. That's what happened in this area here, is we're coming up to that resistance line, and we'll see what happens if we're going to break something like we did last time in 2018. So that's interesting. This is bond prices. Bond prices continue to sell off. These look absolutely disgusting for a move lower. Money is rotating out at probably one of the fastest clips we've seen in a very long time. And it's continual. Since March of 2020, the selling pressure in bonds has remained very well elevated. And this is one of the largest drops I think we've seen. I don't know about ever, but it's been the largest drop for a long time. Gold is resilient, even in the face of that move of the treasury yields. But we're still above the pattern. Everything looks good. We're just waiting for buyers to show up and say, hey, look, we're pushing this higher. But they haven't stepped in yet. Silver still holding down against its support line. Again, support lines is where I like to take a good look at something to see if I want to purchase it. Platinum is also pulling back today. This has been really volatile. And I don't really see an easy trend here, but we've pulled on up, we've pulled on back, we've hit our support areas multiple times. And we just haven't gotten the buyers to push us higher yet. So that's where we're at there. XAU to gold getting pulled back a little bit, which means gold and silver miners are underperforming the gold itself. This does look like we came in, we basically squeezed up a teeny bit and then broke back down a little bit. So I do think that we're going to end up down in this probably area eventually. And hopefully that's a good buy point. I say hopefully because energy is kind of running this whole mix. Energy's been killing it. And these are mining companies where energy is the input cost. So you can kind of see that this has got kind of that esque of this, where we might come back down, that head and shoulders type movement. We've got EXK. We're back inside the pattern. Is that good or bad? It's not bad necessarily, but it's not necessarily good. It's FSM, Fortuna Silver Mines. We're broken out on top of the pattern. We've pulled on back to this general vicinity. That's basically almost a full retest. SILJ coming on back, almost the full retest of this breakout of that pattern. GDX, almost a full retest breaking out of this pattern here. Right when you think you're gone, it pulls you on back to that breakout line. Metallic Minerals getting some buying pressure today in this junior silver company. Big picture view. It's that big kind of double bottom pattern that we're trying to put in. Koya Silver getting more of a sell-off today. These little silver guys, little shysters there. Continuing to sell off here and there. That's Koya. Discovery Silver getting a little bit of a sell-off today. Nothing too big. First Majestic coming up. Full retest. We'll see if this support line holds or if we break lower. The selling pressure here, guys, is dramatic. Look at that. It's a straight beeline lower. People are scared. It's got to be. Newmont, we're finding support right where it's at on top of all these big patterns. There's the big pattern. Mag Silver, another one that is selling off a little bit. Still have some support underneath it. And if you're going to use, we won't do it there. It's an ugly looking chart, kind of. Yamana Gold, pulling back a little bit. This could still have further pullback. And I know a lot of people, well, you need to use the fib retracement. Well, if you put a fib retracement on it, you know, a good retracement might be something like down here to $4.75. You could even go all the way back to $4.28, depending on the market conditions. And that's our retracement that we could potentially come back to if we were to do that. Impact Silver pulling on back. Support's way down here at 19 cents. We did not break that. Looking at Aftermath Silver, that's still way down there doing the double booty bottom. Still trying to find that bottom. Arcana Silver is getting way low. We'll see if this support holds now. We'll see if it holds. I don't own any in it. If you want to know, I'll disclose. I don't know anything. This is for other people. Platinum Group Metals pulling on back. You know, I've seen some people with some really big high expectations for this company. I don't have that high expectation. I have a little bit of money in there, but yeah, that's where it's at. Siboney, Stillwater, still pulling back. This thing is back to, looks like we've got support in kind of this general vicinity down here. Somewhere in that range, perhaps. Sandstorm, gold. Again, we're back, coming back to this basically support level. We'll see if that support level holds. Franco-Nevada, we've got this tightening up of this pattern here. We're inside the pattern still. And it's just going back and forth. And we'll see where it ends up. EMX, royalty right at support. There's that support there. And we could do a full retest all the way back if it wanted to. Teuton Resources getting a little bit of an update today with the big hammer candlestick pattern on a monthly basis. It's that big hammer pattern. Wheat and precious metals moving sideways. Gold royalty, that's been moving sideways. Metallo royalty moving sideways. Mavericks metals moving sideways. Royal Gold sitting up there. Again, this could pull back a little bit more. Cisco Gold royalty moving sideways today inside of its pattern. And then Altius putting up a little day with a hammer candlestick today, doing some hammering. Overall, guys, the overall sector, it's looking a little bit weak. We could see a little bit further pullback, potentially. But again, anything can happen in the short term, guys. You could have buyers show up and just rail this stuff higher if the market turns. And the market can turn on at any point. Some of these, like Altius here, looks pretty good with that hammer pattern. Some hammer patterns are, you know, getting thrown around. Some of their patterns are breaking. They're moving to the downside with some good momentum. Gold, silver, and platinum still look good. They're still above, you know, their patterns. They're still above support lines. They're still doing okay. And the market conditions are still good and favorable for these sectors. So I would suspect at some point that this selling pressure would reside. It might correlate with the 10-year yield calming down a little bit. We've had that straight shot in the 10-year yield, and I think it's just putting pressure on everything. It's putting pressure on everything, and people are afraid, probably afraid of inflation, afraid of the 10-year yield moving higher, and people are starting to sell some money, starting to do some rotation. Dollar's been strong. I think that's probably where they're going. But we'll find out where that money rotates into next. And that's what we're here trying to watch. So if you guys like this, this analysis, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to the website, Platinum membership. If you want some training, I just did a technical analysis training. I recorded it, posted the video. I've got a couple of new picks out there. Some of them are across the board. Some are in uranium and whatnot. And yeah, I've got that all in the Platinum membership on the website. All right, guys, we'll catch you later. This is Finding Value.